So yeah, thank you everyone. Welcome to the demo of SuperTransformer. My name is Amir, and we built this prototype as part of the Courier Hackathon Classify API that was conducted by LabLab. So a bit about myself. I have, say, about 15 years of experience in tech and have played various roles from individual contributor to head of engineering. But I am truly a tinkerer at heart, and I like to play with technology, anything up and coming. With NLP, I have a bit of a history. I started dabbling with NLP say about 10 years back, but back then it was mostly statistical, bag of words, what to act. I did Coursera, Manning, Jurafsky, but I had a feeling, this is not ready for some sort of a industry and things. Fast forward 5 years, and thanks to transformers and attention mechanism and architecture, every day we are basically getting papers that are just beating the sort of benchmarks, and the field has got so exciting. I was just looking at stable diffusion, and it's also so mind-blowing and so much potential over there. So I wanted to dabble with technology, and the best way to do it is part of hackathon. It just forces you to come up with something very useful very quickly. So what is SuperTransformer? SuperTransformer is an AI-assisted email inbox for productive, efficient, and effective executives. SuperTransformer, the word itself is a play on superhuman, email inbox manager with similar goals of making you very efficient. SuperTransformer allows you to intelligently categorize your emails into actionable labels so that you spend less time triaging through your emails and more time focused on your work. So I'll raise the stakes a bit. If you can just take a quick 10-20 seconds to send an email with the subject line of your choice to test.hillary0@gmail.com. test.hillary0@gmail.com. This is going to be useful later in the demo. You can take a subject line, one of the displayed over here, or you can just send a subject line of your own that you can share. Let me quickly check if I have any new emails. This is the email inbox which is going to receive it. Okay. So during the demo, at any point, if you can send out an email, that will really help with the demo. Anyways, jumping on to the next, what is the problem that we are trying to solve and how we are trying to solve it? So it's not a new concept. It's a very, very old productivity hack, formerly known as Eisenhower decision metrics. So President Eisenhower had a quote, something which is urgent is not important and something which is important is not urgent. People have taken this particular quote and try to basically create frameworks out of it. And what we have is we classify tasks in these two axes, important and urgent. So something that is important and urgent, it's better if you just do it right away. Something that is important and not urgent, you can decide later, maybe in the evening, end of day. Something which is not important but urgent needs to be responded quickly. You can just delegate it to your colleagues or to your one-downs. And something that is not important, not urgent, it's better to just discard it and have less distraction. So that is basically the concept around the Eisenhower metrics. But if you look at other productivity metrics like inbox zero or getting things done, as well as a lot of other productivity metrics there is a lot of overlap, and they basically follow some sort of a similar philosophy. Jumping on to a solution. We were looking, the team was looking during the hackathon, we were looking for email data that we can use for the prototype. Most of the email data cater to spam, not spam type of problem. But then we found the Hillary Clinton email dump, and the Clinton emails were released as part of the public investigation that was because of her using her private email servers and things. And that was a perfect fit for our use case. Clinton, being the topmost executive of the State Department, needs to be very highly efficient to be effective at her job. So rather than just creating some sort of simulated data, this was a real world data. And if we can demo our use case on this real world data of how we can make Clinton efficient at her work, is going to be, the testimony of this is going to work in the real world. So what we have used various open source technologies as part of it. We used Label Studio to manually label the email for training. We used Cohere APIs to train and fine-tune a model to classify into important, urgent, or those 4 categories that I actually showed to you. Use Streamlit to host the public UI, and we use Pipedream. Pipedream is a IFTTT, so it basically constantly checks your or basically pings your Gmail server, and as soon as it receives an email, it takes it through its workflow, and there we figure out if this email is important or urgent, and based on it, we can actually use the Gmail APIs to call back from Pipedream to label it in one of those 4 categories. So enough of talk. Let's actually see the demo. Nice. Thank you so much for everyone who sent out the email. So let's actually see. This is Pipedream. I have paused the workflow. Otherwise, it would have just triggered automatically. So I've enabled the workflow. I go inside. I trigger it. Basically manually, but it can actually get triggered every minute, every 5 minutes based on it. And you see a lot of new emails have come up, a lot of new tasks have started. So let's actually see if it basically, starts labeling. Oh, it has started labeling. You can see a few of the emails have start labeling here. Something which is like, happy anniversary or thank you for your time gets labeled as discard. Something like, can we request a meeting, gets labeled as delegate, so that your executive assistant actually can look into it and things. So apologies to everybody whose email got labeled as discard. This is fine-tuned on Hillary Clinton's email data, so don't take it personal. Going back here, if you want to try it out how it works, and if you want to just try out a few things on your own, you can actually go to this particular URL, bit.ly/SuperTransformer, one word, and here you can actually just write down the subject and the body, and it's going to give you the same results as well as more details around how the Cohere's classify model, what is the data it is returning, and what we are labeling it as. So Iran, China team maybe later. It's important but not really urgent. Maybe something like DPRK that should ring bells in State Department. Click on it. Definitely you should look at any emails that says DPRK, AMSETs, border detentions. Obviously, the state secretary needs to actually quickly look into it. So that was the demo. So yeah, if I have been at one of those points where I was getting a lot of emails in my inbox, and there was no way to understand what to attend to and what to attend to not, with SuperTransformer, we plan to actually categorize it so that it's quickly actionable. You just go on to your now emails, reply it right away. Later emails at the end of the day, discard. You don't even have to look into and delegate. You can just create a filter to send forward it to your executive assistant or secretary or other things. So that, you have more time for your work and less time to exchange the emails. A few of the challenges: the data was not clean. We're using very few signals and things around it. There is definitely a potential in it. I think we do see a lot of potential. With that, I'll pause my demo.